So today we are going to talk a little bit about beliefs and how they shape your reality, and also we're going to explain our beliefs practice for you so that you can connect with why it is super important to understand how our beliefs actually do form who we are and how our environment informs that as well. So we talk a lot about Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and we'll link it in the group, in the course.
It's only fair to reference him in a lot of the things we discuss, because he's definitely been someone that we've been drawn to and learned a lot from. So we kind of want to share that as well, so other people get to experience his wealth of knowledge and all the years that he's been studying this on a science-based level, which is also what we really love, to kind of connect to create that bridge from spirit to science.
Yeah, because we're not scientists, but we are nerdy about it. And also saying that we don't agree with everything that Bruce puts out there. Like, no one ever agrees with everything everyone says. But just for your awareness on the layers of what we would pick apart in his information, our beliefs do create our reality, but he speaks a lot about our thoughts, and we've said this before in one of our other videos about thoughts and how feelings are more important. And he kind of misses that in a lot of his texts, where he says kind of fake it till you make it, and think more positive and say more positive things. While these things might send you in the direction of positivity, we're not about ignoring the feelings of why you don't feel positive and why you don't feel deserving of a better life, or all of those things. So our bottom fractal is always more around feelings, so emphasizing connecting to feelings over thinking more positive or changing your thoughts. So
it'll make more sense as we go along, as we kind of keep reminding you about the importance of connecting to the value and the feeling that comes along with that value in changing your beliefs. But I guess if we start with the way that our beliefs are formed, and the way that we have this kind of conscious and subconscious part of the way we think and feel and behave, and how we interact with our environment and perceive certain situations because of these two parts of us. And when we're very young, we spend a lot of time kind of absorbing everything that's around us, and it creates this kind of software and programming system. Say, we've spoke about this before, when you're from the age of birth until you're about 8 years old, you're in a different vibrational state called the theta or theta state. And this is where we're kind of very easily molded, and all this information that we receive is downloaded into our subconscious, into this programming system. And what happens is we don't update it. So we get to 30, 40, and we're still running off this program that we learned when we were like 6, 7 years old. And so that's where we look at where these beliefs and these systems and ways of perceiving our environment, when they were formed and why and how. So depending on all the different things that happen to us when we're children, the parents that we have, the place that we live, different micro and extreme traumas that we experience throughout our lives, that help to form these beliefs. And then we look at whether these beliefs are empowering for us anymore, or whether they're limiting us. And as you can imagine, if you're still holding a belief of feeling that you don't belong or something like that from the age of 6, perhaps you were bullied by Hazel at gymnastics, let's say.
Rose's personal story.
Still running off that program. It's like, then you have this belief that you
don't deserve friends.
You don't deserve friends, or there's a certain type of person to stay away from, because when you meet someone that's a bit like Hazel or whatever, you kind of fear it. And so it's just like so powerful to look at all these beliefs, figure out where they came from, when, why, how they were formed. Are they limiting you? Yes. Can we change them? Yes. And then working towards that and connecting to the value in changing them and how your life's going to improve.
So I guess to also go back to Bruce Lipton a little bit and explain how our cells are formed and why our beliefs are so important to create our bodies and our reality. And on a science level, we've explained this before in some detail, but just to explain again, we are a person that is an intelligent being that has our own consciousness, and all of our little cells, like millions of cells in our body, or billions, they all have their own intelligence, and the same as us, but we are the governing intelligence of them. And then the universe and our environment is the governing intelligence of us. And this is what we speak about on a spiritual level when we say we are all one. We are all part of this moving energy system, and all little cells within the bigger cell, within the bigger cell, within the bigger cell. So all of our cells
communicating at all times.
Yeah. Receptors. So like my cells are communicating with Rosie. We spoke about this before, just by being in the same field here. And all of our cells are taking information from the environment, and everything is governed by our beliefs. And our beliefs form how we feel, or our feelings form what we believe about ourselves. Actually, is more accurate because the feelings come first. And when we believe something about ourselves and we really feel it's true, that comes to fruition. And this has been proven now on a more quantum science level, and this is why Bruce's work is so exciting and why we keep talking about it, because he's a real doctor and scientist who's actually providing proof of this. And this is not just woo-woo spiritual stuff, it's real. And the more you can connect to the power of actually honing in on your beliefs and why you are the way you are, why your body is the way it is, what are your beliefs about your body, the more you can actually take action and connect to changing it and connecting to the feelings that are holding you back. So really feeling into what you believe, what is true, what is not true, what is disempowering, where it comes from, all of those things. And even just to give another example, is like there's a study done in Japan by some Japanese scientist, and he had like loads of things of water, and he put intentions into each different water, and the water that got love intention was really crystal clear, good, like vibrant, healthy water. And the water that got hate it turned toxic, stagnant. The cells of the water responded. Basically, our body is like 80% water anyway, so it's like it makes sense to see that water actually has a cellular memory as well. So just to give you like an outsider point of view on the same kind of topic. And I've noticed this with a client before as well, that she hated a part of her body, and it was like how many people on here hate cellulite and their cellulite, and how much energy every day when you see your cellulite, you look at it and go, oh, I hate that, I hate that, I hate that, I hate that part of my body, and you reject it. And what happens when we reject parts of ourselves is they feel it. The cells, individual cells, feel hate instead of love, and they become stagnant, not flowing, not moving, contracted, which is towards disease, away from expansion. And they become more toxic, more stagnant, more cellulite, more of what you don't want, because that's where your attention's going. So really tuning into the intentions that you're putting into your body, the intentions that you're putting into your system every day with everything. And intention is super important on a manifestation level. It's like, what do I intend with this action? You know, what is my intention with these words? You know, it's like intention. You can say something and feel something else. So the intention's always the feeling. So this is going into manifestation level, where you have to feel deserving of something before you can manifest it. You have to create space for it. So you have to get rid of your old beliefs. And you have to know how to ask for what you want, and then you have to actually know what you want as well. So some people think they just want to be different, and they're not fully connected to what different looks like. And then they go to a belief of like, oh, a supermodel looks like this, and I'm going to mirror what that is because that's different, but I'm not really sure why I want that. And it's the disconnect that causes a lot of incongruency in our systems, which causes us to malfunction basically.
Yeah, so just really understanding the impact that it can have on your own physical health, your body chemistry, so how you feel, how your body's responding to everything that's going on, and then how that impacts your reality and how you experience things and the way that you will then kind of communicate with everyone else. So if it was the girl with the cellulite and she hates that part, it would be for her to look at her belief system around her body image and why she feels that she is not good enough, why she feels that that is ugly, or what she feels she isn't because of having that. So how she feels that she's not worthy of love, or all these different things that it can be like the deeper core reason why we hate a certain body roll of fat.
Reject it, basically.
Yeah. So it would be to look at the beliefs, where that's come from, and then kind of rewrite it and connect to the value in change and where that person wants to be, how they want to feel. And understanding that like 95% of the time we are running off the subconscious programs, so the old beliefs that are kind of limiting us. So becoming more and more conscious and aware of what state we're in and which belief system we are acting from is so important, because like Claire was saying about the actual impact it has on your cells. If you're still running in that kind of subconscious program of I am not worthy, I hate my body, I'm ugly, I don't deserve love,
I'm fat.
Yeah, all these different things. And 95% of the time you're there and the body is responding in this way that's kind of creating like death within the cells. This is when it leads to things like cancer and different diseases, and depending on how we're perceiving different things, maybe we have like a real loathing of the way we look, and then we enter a room, a party that we were really looking forward to, and there's like one girl in there who's just absolutely beautiful, she's got this incredible figure, and we go into this kind of fight or flight mode of just like, get me out of here, I'm ugly. And it's because of those old beliefs that we have that situation affects us in that way, and the way we perceive that situation sets off all these different hormones and different chemistry in our body that is just creating this like stagnancy and inflammation, yeah. So like anxiety and low mood, low energy, all these different things that can be because of the belief systems that are kind of weighing us down.
Yeah, it's like the autoimmune diseases that attack your cells, literally attack themselves because they hate themselves. That's what happens on a cellular level when you send hate and you really feel hate for certain parts of your body. So really connecting to the power of your beliefs and the power of how you feel over the governing cells. So it's really like amazing when you can actually connect to it and create your reality from there. And it's also what you believe about your external. That's what you get as well. It's like, oh, I believe I don't deserve friends, and then you don't have any friends. And it's like, oh, I know, reconfirming your belief over and over again. And when you're in those patterns, it's quite hard to break them if you don't have someone external showing you, like we would do with our clients, like a mirror. They say, hey guys, this is what's actually going on here. And this is something that you can look at and change, and you have power to change it. So it becomes kind of exciting. It's like, oh, actually, if I am that powerful, and the law of attraction, we'll talk about it a lot, what do you want to manifest? What do you feel deserving of, which is the bottom layer? Do you have space in your life for it? Can you connect with it? On a feeling level, what does that mean for you? How do you want to feel? These are really important questions to kind of connect to. And then you can create yourself, your cells, and your reality from there. It's super powerful.
So we'll go over the actual beliefs practice, and you can find this in the document form too, and we'd really recommend that you do look at it and read it through as well and kind of digest it in that form as well. But
there's more information in there as well.
Yeah, and also like it's really cool to just be kind of writing this down and going through it in that way as well. But the first thing we have to do is identify our limiting beliefs. And sometimes people will find this a little bit hard, but even though that is the conversation they have with themselves every day, over and over and over. So for example, if we picked a topic that might be like body image, what are your beliefs about your body image? What are your beliefs about your relationship with food? So you'd pick a topic in your life that currently you're struggling with. There's something going on that you would like to change, and we take that area and then look at what the limiting beliefs are within that area. And the way to do that usually is to go into some of the sentences and phrases that you'll often hear yourself saying. So it could be the internal dialogue, or it could be things that you hear yourself saying to other people. And sometimes we're so unaware of it, and that's why it can be hard to even think of what they are. So just taking a bit of time, or even like take a week and start to notice what you do say. So
because they're unconscious, it's like bringing consciousness to the unconscious parts of
Yeah.
yourself, and it's bringing awareness. Even bringing awareness to those things allows you to look at them. So because they're unconscious the whole time, you're just operating from that system. It takes a bit of awareness and presence and being present with yourself and observing to actually catch your own beliefs. So actually with our clients, quite a lot, we have to tell people or ask them the questions because they can't see it. So we're being the mirror, so we actually ask. So maybe if you have a buddy, you can kind of do it. If you're struggling, maybe reach out to us and we'll probably be able to mirror something back to you quite quickly.
yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's quite a practice to even catch yourself in action.
And usually it's quite snappy little things that you say. So it wouldn't be like a long detailed sentence. It's just like, I'm not good enough. I am rubbish at dieting. I can never say no to food. It's like these kind of broad things that we tend to say that just aren't true.
I have an eating disorder.
I have an eating disorder.
I'm screwed forever.
Exactly. So it's these quite short, snappy untruths that are these limiting beliefs that we want to go into and find. And you could actually end up just writing like a million of these things by the end of it once you kind of get into the flow. Like when I was binge eating and I looked at mine, I realised that I used to say, I'm just terrible at dieting. I can't diet. But yet I was one of the best bodybuilders in the UK, known for getting shredded and getting super low in body fat quite easily, really. So it was like this broad statement that I attached to my behaviour when I was binging, and it was limiting me, saying I just can't diet. Or even things like, I just love chocolate so much, or I love food, I just love food too much. Yeah, these things, is that taking you closer to where you want to go and to the way you want to feel and the person you want to be, or further away? So it's taking us further away. So we know this is a limiting belief and it's not helping us with the current issue that we're suffering with and we want to get out of. So that's how you kind of figure out what these limiting beliefs are. And then what you want to do is figure out where that came from. So is it even your belief? So in this is when we start to look at parental, social and cultural conditioning. Friends. So we think about retracing where that belief came from. And was it that we saw our mother doing exactly the same as what we're doing, the same pattern, looking in the mirror, pulling at the skin, always dieting, talking about having to lose body fat, worried about the way they look? Was it a friend at high school or whatever that was always talking about dieting, losing more weight? Or perhaps someone once said something to you that like one of the things I've heard quite a lot is parents saying, you're just like your mother, or you're just like this side of the family. We've always got this body fat. We always have this belly fat. And then it's like this belief then, I'm always going to have this belly fat because it's genetic. Or it's the culture. So in some cultures, we were talking just the other day, that it's actually more admired to hold lots of body fat because it's a sign of wealth, health, fertility for women. And then in another country, it's more desired to be super skinny or like looking like an athletic woman. So how can one be true if there's all these different perceptions because of a different culture?
And just thinking about the DNA and the genetic one as well, Bruce goes into detail as to why that's not true, to disprove basically that theory that our genes create who we are. It's not true, from all of his 10 years of study on that and all of the studies that he's continuing to do on it. So it's like really trying to change what you think is a fact or that you believe to be true on a science level as well, challenging everything based on this information that, okay, we can create who we are from our beliefs.
Yeah, it's like so disempowering to think that, to not look at the fact that perhaps the child is a little bit overweight like the parents were and the parents before, because it's the same patterns, the same feelings, the same thoughts, the same behaviours around portion sizes and all this kind of thing, rather than it actually being some sort of genetic disposition that no one can do anything about. So once you've got your limiting belief and written that down, and you've figured out perhaps where it's come from initially, it's then about just having a little look at all the different times in your life when you have had that proven to yourself, or when you've kind of created a reality where that's proven to you, and just kind of writing some of those down and bringing a little bit of awareness to what was really going on in those situations that you feel like it was proven that you weren't good enough, or too ugly, or all these different things. And then you have to start to think about whether you really want to change this belief or not, because we have to kind of face up to the fact that sometimes we just don't want to change something because we haven't found the value in it yet. So it's looking at whether there's some sort of sneaky value loop that's playing out for you by staying in that belief. So if it's perhaps someone that believes they have an eating disorder, I have this eating disorder, do they have a value in staying there because that is the only time they actually get attention or love or any sort of recognition that they're suffering and that there's stuff that they're struggling with, and they get support actually when the eating issues are at the peak? So for them, if one of their big things is that they never received attention, love, validation, or they felt unseen the whole life, that they were suffering, and then all of a sudden they have this external, quite unhealthy thing going on, and then they get what they always wanted as a child, it's good to look at whether we're holding on to that belief because there's a value there. There's kind of like a pleasure, pain, value loop going out. Or if there's someone that has a belief that they are not good enough or not worthy, and the same thing when they say this to their friends, then they get, oh, you're beautiful, you're great just the way you are. And it's like this little boost for them, which kind of keeps them wanting to hold on to that little belief system instead of connecting to the value in changing it and how incredible they will feel and look, and how their life can change in this kind of direction that they want to go. So it's really important to connect to the
seeking soothing.
And really writing down, am I ready to change this, and really feeling into it, yes or no.
How scary is it to let go of that little belief that allows you to soothe yourself through people and allow you to get those compliments and those little boosts because you're in victim mode of, oh, well, this is why I'm that way. And it's like, how attached are you to that, and do you really want to change? Where's the value in changing for you?
We can kind of build up an attachment to these labels and identities that are part of these beliefs and what they bring to us. So it's kind of really important to really connect to that. Am I ready to change, yes or no? And once you've decided that, you can kind of go on to the next step. And then it's just asking, okay, is this old belief taking me further away or closer to what I want? Okay, and we've decided we do want to change. So then it's about, what new belief do I want? What is the new belief that is going to be aligned with where I am going? So then we can start to look at creating these affirmations and new phrases that we're going to tell to ourselves, the internal dialogue and the external dialogue to other people as well, and the way we describe ourselves to the world and to ourselves. And with this one, it's really important again to come back to the feeling. So like we were saying before, to not just go along with the fake it till you make it. So it's not just going to be like, I am worthy or I am beautiful, because it's really about feeling it. So you can kind of practice this when you're writing it or when you're saying it, and feel into the body whether when you say it, does it make you like almost cringe and contract because you still actually don't believe that. So it's about kind of creating little steps from where you are and these old beliefs, and bit by bit creating an affirmation and a new belief that does feel true to you, and it is taking you closer to where you want to go. So it might be just something like, every day I'm getting better in every way, or something like this, because we know we're always changing, and we know that we're
trying to self-improve.
Exactly, like even kind of watching this video, you are self-loving and moving closer towards someone that can really kind of say, I love myself, I am worthy.
And just on those steps, like you take one step forward with an affirmation, you feel into the affirmation, you test it in your body, like Rosie was saying. Does it feel empowering or disempowering to you? Do I expand or contract? Why do I feel like that? And it's literally one step forward, figure out what part of that is making you stay back and holding you back, and then letting go of that, figuring it out, releasing it, and then you're like, okay, now I do believe that. And it's not about, like she said, faking it and telling yourself that this is what I want when you don't feel deserving of it, or that's the manifestation level. You can't manifest it if you do not connect to the feeling of I deserve that. And it's every little step and every little affirmation. Test the phrase. How does that feel in my system? Do I feel congruent with it? Is my body contracted? Okay, why? And it's always empowering you to move again towards what you want and what you want to create. So like baby steps, and just unlayering all the parts of you that are not wanted anymore and getting rid of them.
Yeah, and then what you can do as well, it can be helpful to, with this new belief, it can be helpful to start to actually look back at different times in your life where you have already proven this. How many times in your life has that actually been proven that you are worthy of love, or you are beautiful, or you can stick to like a healthy eating regime or whatever? Because we could eat healthily and in a way that kind of nourishes us for months, and then we have this little sort of binge episode or a period of time where we're relying on food as a bit of a crutch, and we go into this, I can't or I can only ever choose unhealthy foods, I can only ever eat
I'm
like
useless,
this.
I'm a failure, I have no self-discipline, I have no motivation to be better. It's like beating yourself up the whole time.
Like I was with the bodybuilding and the dieting, having this belief that I just couldn't diet. When I would do 20-week diets, like and get down to like 6% body fat. So I had absolutely so many times to prove the counter argument against that belief, but I was only going that way towards the limiting belief, or certainly way more focus on that, which kind of keeps you in that cycle of binging and loathing afterwards.
And just suffering. It just keeps you in that suffering that, oh, I'm useless, I'm this. And it's like just to watch how you do speak to yourself when you walk past a mirror, what you are saying to yourself, what are you bringing into your reality, what are you manifesting, all of those things.
Yeah, and just writing down a few of the kind of pivotal times in your life that you're really proud of yourself and the incredible things that you've done, because a lot of the kind of personality traits that we have, they're all transferable, and we kind of forget about them, or we kind of selectively choose to ignore the fact that we do have great power within us. It's like proven in so many different areas in our lives that we have this, but yet there's one area we're suffering and struggling with, so we think that we're weak and pathetic, and why am I not like other people? So it's kind of like just looking at things on a much more fair, balanced perspective, instead of this focused in on the limiting beliefs and programs that we kind of hold on to.
And it all comes back to those programs. So whose voice is that actually? Is that my mother's voice telling me that I'm useless? You know, is that my mother's self-hate? You know, am I holding a pattern that she actually created, that her mother created, and how old is it? And it's not like you need to know the stories, but it helps you to understand yourself and your beliefs and how you formed them and how they're still operating through you now. Yeah, we've got a cool podcast as well on how your illnesses, how your beliefs shape your illnesses. I can't really remember the name of the actual title, something like that.
Yeah, is your illness your fault?
Yeah, something like that. But it explains a lot more about how we manifest in detail. It's a few hours long, so if you want a little bit more on that. We also have a video coming on the importance of values and connecting to the value in changing. So beliefs are important, and then also you really need to feel the value, and this goes for any issues with food. It's like if you're keeping patterns, like Rosie was saying, there's an attachment to why you have those patterns, and there's usually a reward loop that's keeping you away from pain, or keeping you in suffering, or keeping you away from your potential, or soothing you in some way. And it's connecting to the value in being different, so really feeling like actually I want to be different, and connecting on an emotional level to that. But yeah, we'll explain that in more detail as well.
So take some time to kind of delve into these old beliefs and start to chip away and
enjoy the unraveling.